Recording 1, 2, 3. We're now going to go over the exclusive right to sell. This is a contract between the owner of a property and their listing agent. More importantly, between the owner of a property and their listing agent's broker. So we're going to show you really quickly when you go to londonfoster.net under Office Manager, Contracts and Forms. You can scroll down a bit and you will find the exclusive right to sell. The exclusive right to sell is a 4-page document. It's very self-explanatory. It's very simple. I'm going to go over it real quick with you just so you can take a little peek at it. It's going to have your basic information on what it is that the person wants to do, what they want to opt out of, and I'll go over every single part of that. The important thing is that you know that it's a 4-page document, that the seller needs to sign it, you need to sign it, and we'll go over all the compensation and everything else. But if you want a blank copy of it, you can find that at londonfoster.net under Office Manager, Forms and Contracts. Obviously, you can also find this on Form Simplicity, and our broker has very kindly packaged this all up so that it is easy for us to show, easy for us to find. You're going to go into the library, and you could sit there and pull it up under Find, or you could go into Form Packages. When you go into Form Packages, okay, you're going to go under, here we go, listing package for a sale as a transaction broker. You're going to find the exclusive right of sale, and you're going to find a seller's property disclosure for both a condominium and a residential. Okay. So once you've selected the ones you want, you go to create a transaction from this package. Okay. Okay, let's say it's this one. You're going to make sure that it is the same name as a transaction, and you're going to open it. By saving it, you're basically creating a folder, and that folder is going to have those forms that is within that folder. So you'll see here that it pulled all three. Since this is a home, you are not going to be using the condominium one, so you're going to select it, and from the select command, you're going to delete it. Okay. So once we deleted it, we have the two forms that we need. More importantly, the seller's disclosure as a residential. And the same as we did with the rental one, we're going to go into content. Okay. And we're going to copy and paste whatever the folio number is. We are going to check for the county, copy and paste whichever one of the folio numbers it was. And we're going to pretend that these folio numbers match. Obviously it does not, but we're going to select this one. So what it's going to do is it's going to pull all the information on this contract in here, and we're going to save that. Now, once you do that, all the information is automatically pulled in to the contract. like the seller's name, the legal description, the folio number, et cetera, et cetera. For our purposes, we're just going to go over the important stuff. So the important things here are going to be to designate when the contract is starting. If today is the 14th of March and we're starting it on the 18th, you would write there. Again, I would do maybe 6 months. I wouldn't do it until the 18th. I would do it until Sunday maybe. You want to check the address. You want to spell it out. This is where you would do it. Do not change the legal description. Here you would write in any additional things that are being sold with it. So for instance, a refrigerator, gas range and oven, dishwasher, jacuzzi, okay. If you wanted to attach an addendum, here's where you would click to make sure that it's attached. This is where you would reiterate to your client whether or not the property is occupied. If the property is occupied, you want to know when the lease expires. Make sure that that is correct, filled out correctly. You want to write out what the price is, what terms are acceptable to the owner, whether or not they will accept a VA or an FHA. Obviously, an $800,000 property, that's not going to be the case, but you want to make sure that that is an option. The next one is if the seller is willing to do financing, you would click there and you would say how much of the amount. If they want to do the assumption of the mortgage, which is another option, you would click there and you would write in all the pertinent information regarding that. If there's any discount that the owner is willing to pay, here's where you put it. Here it speaks about the broker's obligations. It's going to tell you about the multiple listing service. You can read that at your leisure. Here it speaks of the broker's authority. Remember, this is the same as a rental. You're going to have the option to opt out. They can opt out from displaying it on the internet, opt out from opting out from displaying the address on the internet or the whole thing on the internet. I wouldn't recommend either. Obviously, here it tells you that if you do so, then you're limiting the people that are going to be able to see it. Do you want to opt? Here it talks about authorizing to place a for sale or sold signs on the property, obtain information regarding the present mortgages and property, and provide objective comparative CMA to potential buyers. And then here it talks about using a lockbox. If the property is empty and you're going to be using a lockbox, make sure you click on that so that you're protected against that. Withholding verbal offers and withholding offers once the property has been accepted. Personally, I don't do either. An offer for me has to show up in writing. I need to know that you have proof of funds. I need to know that you've been pre-approved. And I don't present any offers once we're in contract, because once we're in contract, what's the point of tormenting the seller? Here we talk about the analysis that go online. So if the owner doesn't want people to know what it is, this is a function of the MLS. And here it asks the seller to disclose anything that they might know in regards to local government building code violations. This is like when someone built an efficiency or built an extra room, they should disclose that. Again, we're attaching the seller's disclosure, so that'll come up. Compensation automatically comes up at 6%. This is our goal. This is the way we work. If somebody is giving you less than 6%, it's limiting the amount of realtors that are going to see it. unless you're willing to take 4% and give 3 to the cooperating broker and take 1 for yourself. So 6 should be your goal, and that should be the way that it works. Here it talks about other ways, other options, and you can read each one, but this is the standard, paying 6% of the total sale. Here it talks about what would happen if the seller decides that he wants to transfer the property, or if the seller refuses or fails to sign an offer, price and terms stated in the agreement, defaults on the executed sales contract, or agrees with a buyer to cancel an executed sales contract. You know, that you're protected from these termination days and that you have to get paid. Retained deposits, it says a broker is entitled to receive 50% if left blank of all deposit the seller retains as liquidated damages for the buyer's default in this transaction, not to exceed paragraph 8A. So let's say you collected $5,000 and your commission is $20,000. If the deal falls apart, you're entitled to $2,500. That's basically what it's saying. Here it speaks about cooperative, or the co-broke, and it's very similar to the rental one that we showed you earlier. You click on it, you click on the 3%. Obviously, we're doing that because you don't want to write an amount because prices are going to be negotiated. Here it talks about the broker relationship. Broker will act as a transaction broker and will deal honestly and fairly. Conditional termination. This is if the client wants to terminate the contract. Most people put somewhere between $500 and $1,000. Depends on the agent. Dispute resolution. It's where you're going to have it signed. These are the additional terms. And if you bear with me just 1 second.